What should it say? Let's talk about how you abuse animals. Let's have a chat about how you abuse animals. Hey, good afternoon.
Hi.
Well, this is an animal rights movement?
I think that would be a good description of it, yeah.
What's the group?
No group, just
just you.
The two of us wanting to have a conversation with people, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have
You are a vegan. Obviously.
Yes. Yes.
Did you see the news? It might have been BBC yesterday. Said that vegans have a much higher, like measurably higher, like 15-20% higher rate of breaking bones and hips. And they said vegetarians are not as bad. And they said some meat makes a difference in terms of calcium absorption. So people actually have healthier bones.
Yeah.
You see that? It was just published like a few days ago in probably BBC.
Is it one study?
Yeah, and
Do you
they
know
also
how
said,
many?
well, a big group. They also said it may not be valid because they said the vegans they were studying were like 15, 20 years ago, and they said vegan diets now are better than they were 15 years ago. So they said that maybe that they're actually getting more protein. So maybe the vegans today, that was one of the caveats with it. The vegans today may actually have a better diet than they did 15 years ago.
Because if you have, if you take all the necessary, nutrition, then it's okay if you don't eat meat. Like you can get all the nutrition without the meat.
Correct.
So,
Yeah,
but you
so
need to
like-
have a good diet, right?
Yeah. So like the largest group of dietitians in the world, it's over 100,000 dietitians based on over 117 studies, said that a vegan diet can be healthy at all stages of life for every kind of human.
Yeah.
So that's like during pregnancy, as a child, and all the way throughout your entire life. So it has been proven, I think, through science at this point that you can live a healthy vegan lifestyle.
I'm pretty sure that it's true.
What if the animals? You know, who's the guy, the American writer? I forget the name of the book, the classic anti, pro animal welfare book.
Out of the States.
Big one, the biggest name in America. He was popular like in the 70s, 80s, 90s. He kind of started the whole movement.
Dr. Alex Hershaft, or
No.
because Dr. Alex Hershaft, so he started the farm movement, which is a farm animal rights movement, and that was started in the 1970s. So I'd say as far as like who has been speaking on behalf of farmed animals for the longest time, I think Alex Hershaft.
Okay.
Would be
So
up
this
there?
guy might be. It was a name like Seeger. I know it's not like Carl Sagan, but it's like a name like
Okay.
Seeger, Seeger.
I'm not familiar. Or Singer, maybe?
Could be Singer.
Singer?
Which singers and the issue and what he said. So he was one of the top sort of anti-meat people, and he was asked. He said, "What if the animals were raised and killed ethically, whatever that means?"
Exactly,
And
yeah.
he said, "Well, that would make a difference." Well, that's nice.
Yeah, what do you say about that? I'm just curious.
He's got a mind of his own.
If there is such a word to say ethically killed, because I can't
I
say
don't
it.
know. Eh?
It's just too weird. I will ethically kill an animal. So.
Well, that's exactly it,
Yeah.
right? Like, I can show you hours and hours and hours of footage of animals being killed and
I've
what
seen that.
I would describe as
They
unethical.
did a tent a while ago. I saw the footage.
Yeah,
It was not pleasant
to watch.
to watch, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I totally
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Mhm.
I just don't have the strength and kind of like I just love chicken.
Yeah.
And fish, right?
And-
And eggs
Mhm.
and cheese.
Mm-hmm. And what is it about it that you love?
That's a good question. So I'm not addicted to flavor, to taste.
Uh-huh.
It's just easy to like cook,
Yeah.
and it fills you up. Like
Okay.
you need protein, and you have a piece of chicken with whatever else I have, and I
Mhm.
feel
Mhm.
full.
Yeah. So then I think my question to you would be like, do you value the taste of chicken and that feeling of full and having that protein on your plate more than the moral value of the chicken's life?
That's a good question, because I don't see the chicken, and I'm not the one who kills it, and I
Mhm.
just buy it. I don't really think about it as being a chicken,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
yeah.
And we live in a market economy.
Mhm.
So if people stop demanding the death of the chickens and the chicken meat, then they would probably stop
Of course.
consuming or producing them. So do you think you're responsible for the death of those chickens when you do decide to sit down and have that on your plate?
Good question. Am I responsible? I am, I guess, because I buy it and I eat it. So there is some responsibility. Probably I have to think about it more.
I'm just interrupting for 1 second. So his name is Pete Singer, and the book
Yeah.
is Animal Liberation.
Beautiful. I do know Peter Singer. Yes,
Okay.
he is a well-known animal rights
Well-known
activist.
guy,
Absolutely.
and I thought he's one of the top guys. And so
He
the
is,
book is
yeah.
Animal Liberation, and
Awesome.
so he was the guy that said if they were killed ethically and they had ethical lives, which meant they were like free roaming and you know, and they weren't factory animals. He said he might change his views. So his opposition was the way that they're being treated.
So I think that's where him and I would digress as far as our viewpoints are concerned, because I personally don't think it's possible to ethically kill another sentient being that does not want to die.
What about the argument, and I know it's a fact, but what about the argument that cattle, for example, well, maybe we don't need cows because their methane gas is killing Europe. So we probably, as a movement against cattle, this is a cow problem. Probably the idea is stop eating beef. If you're going to stop eating meat, stop eating beef because we don't want methane, right?
Okay.
I don't know if pigs are an issue too, but you know, like cattle are a huge issue, right?
As far as methane goes,
But
yes,
yeah,
but I'm not here for environmental reasons.
No.
But the interesting thing is, I used to eat pork, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been eating pork for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I can't eat it anymore. To me, it's so
Okay.
disgusting. I can't taste the
Do you know how we killed them?
Oh.
CO2 gas. So if you haven't seen it before, I can show you footage if you're curious at all, but so CO2 is heavier than air, carbon dioxide is heavier than air. So it's down in a chamber, and they stuff the pigs onto this metal platform and they lower them down into the chamber. Animal agriculture tried to convince us that the pigs just gently went to sleep and it was a very gentle process.
Yeah.
But if you're outside a slaughterhouse, you can hear the screaming of the pigs and it sounds eerily human-like. They'll rip off their hooves because they're trying so desperately to escape. And you can imagine trying to breathe, because that's what they would be doing, and not having oxygen come into your lungs, just having the situation get worse. So, and then that's just to stun them, and then they get a knife in the neck on the other side of that. So that's how we kill
and
pigs.
remember you told me that pigs are smart.
It's like a Holocaust. I mean, no question it's a Holocaust, right?
Holocaust just means slaughter on a mass scale.
Okay,
It's
so
farm
I'm
Holocaust.
Yeah.
okay.
I agree with you, it's not different. I agree with you.
I have considered becoming a vegetarian, and that's okay. But I really like cheese and eggs. So I still would want to drink milk and have my favorite cacao with milk, not like vegetable milk.
What if it's organic?
Organic. Well, what if it's organic eggs and organic milk?
So let's start with eggs first. So all egg laying farms get their hens from breeders. That's where they buy their hens from. And breeders, there's no use for male baby chicks at a breeder,
Right.
because those aren't the meat-producing chickens. That's not the breed that they use for producing meat. That's the breed that they use for producing eggs. So the male baby chicks, on the day they are born, are either emascerated alive, so they're thrown into a blender, or they are put into a bag and suffocated. I have footage from a farm in Alberta where they take the male baby chicks by their legs or against the cement floor to kill them. I can show you if you're interested at all.
No, that's because I don't think I will get traumatized by that. I've seen things that are pretty bad.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, and that's organic, free-range, cage-free eggs. It doesn't matter what label they put on it because it's from a breeder.
So I have a question. I have a question to you.
Yeah.
So if eggs were if those chickens were treated well, would you still eat eggs?
Yeah, so two different things to that. Number one is that we've bred egg-laying hens to lay more eggs than they've naturally been evolved to do. So in nature, they would lay maybe 12 to 20 eggs in a year. We have them laying up to 300 eggs in a month, or in a year, sorry. So as many as, I don't know what that would be, close to 25 eggs in a month. Part of the nutrients that they lose is the calcium, because you need calcium to make an egg. That's what the shell is made out of. So something that's very popular in egg-laying hens is avian osteoporosis, which is osteoporosis in their bones because they're losing all the calcium to make the eggs. So the right thing to do for those chickens would be to have them eat their own egg. and they will if they are given the opportunity. I don't think it's good for the chicken in that situation to take the eggs from them. And then my second part to that answer would be, what gives us the right to exploit another animal for our benefit?
That's a good question.
It's an honest question. Like
What do you think about that?
The question that gives us the right to exploit them
Yeah.
for our survival.
for our benefit. I don't think it's for survival, sir. And if you disagree with that, then I'd be open to chatting about that as well.
Oh, because you're saying we don't need to eat them.
Well, we live in Calgary in 2020. I mean,
We can eat something else. We can totally ignore
Yeah.
all the meats
Yeah.
and eggs
Yeah.
in this culture at this time. It's true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're tough questions. I agree. I
are.
agree with you, and and we also treat human beings equally badly, right? I mean, you look at what's happening in Ethiopia right now, right?
and people are up in arms about it around the world,
But Ethiopia,
about what you're describing, what's going on in Ethiopia. Anytime where a human is being mistreated, I think around the world humans recognize that it's wrong and that we want to
So we're not
alleviate it.
talking about animals as much as we talk about human abuse. Is that what you guys are trying to say?
Animal abuse is the most normalized thing in the world. I mean, people don't look at it as something that's wrong. It's
yeah, yeah. I think it's Christian. I think where it comes from. I mean, a friend of mine. I lived in BC for a long time, and he was logging, and they were quite happy to clear cut whole mountainsides, and proud of the fact that they were there, right? And the concept is that, you know, it was given to us, and that we're given dominion over the earth for our benefit, our pleasure, and our use. So all of it, everything, all of it is a resource to be exploited. And I think, you know, if you ask where does it come from, I think it's Christian. It may be you know, Judaic Christian is
okay.
right? It's
Yep.
not Buddhist, not Hindu. The Hindus respected everything, as you know. The
Sacred.
the
Life is sacred, yeah.
The Jains don't kill ants. They're
Bless
careful.
James. Yep. No,
I mean, you know, you could be a Jain. Eh?
Yep.
Maybe you were a Jain in your last life, right? But it's this culture, it's Western culture, and I mean, to me, it's symptomatic of just the whole abusive relationship with the earth. So this is a part of the global, you know, climate and world issues. It's just abusive about everything.
Have you listened?
Oceans, fishing, the whole thing, all of it.
Have you listened to any Philip Wollen at all?
Phyllis,
Philip Wollen.
no. What's he writing?
He's the ex-vice president of Citibank in Australia.
Okay.
He was voted Australian of the Year in the late 2000s, and he gave an incredible speech. It's a 20-minute presentation. If I can give you a card, if you'd be interested
Sure.
in taking a look at it.
It's on YouTube, I guess.
Yep. I'll give you my card. Is the one on the bottom left there?
Thank
It
you.
says the animal holocaust.
Okay.
Speaking to how humans are treating the planet and how we view it as our dominion, I think
Right.
he does a very good job of sort of putting words to that.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at all these things. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you guys just self-organized to
Yeah.
do this? How many of you?
Just us two.
Just two of you?
Yeah, we're part of AV also, which is anonymous for the voiceless. And what we do, we've been here before. You just said we have TVs of slaughterhouse, looping footage of slaughterhouses, and we'll make a cube, and then just basically have these kind of conversations. The nice thing about that is that the context is right there because you see
Right.
what's happening to
Really
the
good
animals.
idea. Didn't Harper? I know the Americans did the gag laws. The
Yes.
gag laws. In America did it, and I think Harper mirrored them, and Harper also passed them, didn't he?
Provincial governments,
Federal.
premiers are doing it as well.
Federal. I think
Yes.
it's a federal gag law. Which
Yes.
means you cannot film inside a slaughterhouse, so you can't show how they're being mistreated.
Right.
So we were just at the courts this morning.
Yeah.
There are 14 individuals who went to a commercial dog sledding operation just out of Canmore.
Yeah.
14 of them, and all they did was with cameras, and they just took pictures and everything. And they've been dealing with that for over a year,
They were charged.
civically. So I think they're
We're
suing
taking pictures?
for trespassing on private property.
Oh, I see. For trespassing.
And it's Crown land,
Oh.
and they only pay $1,500 a year, and it's a big chunk of Crown land. These dogs, there's over 100 dogs. They're on 5-foot long chains every day out of the year. They don't. It's horrendous conditions. I mean, we would never treat our pets like that. So.
Right.
Yeah, the egg gag laws are really a step backwards.
They're criminal. I mean, it's absurd.
Yes.
It's worth going in there and saying, take
Yes.
it to court. Take this people
Yep.
can't say this is absurd.
Yep.
I mean, what kind of government says we don't want you to see what's happening? I mean, for what benefit? So that you carry on letting them do it, and letting them eat animals. I agree with you. So that to me should be challenged.
Yes.
And I think it's challengeable.
Yes, because it's our right to bear witness.
It's our right to bear witness. Absolutely. How can you say we're not? You can't see it.
Right.
You can't see it. I mean, what nonsense is that?
I could not agree more.
It's
Yeah,
absurd.
it's absolutely
It's absurd.
ridiculous.
Good for you guys.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
Investing in doing this.
Yeah, well, I've just seen too much. Like there's so many documentaries out there to watch that.
On YouTube?
Yes, yep. A lot of it's on YouTube.
Eating cashew.
In case anyone wanted to try a vegan treat, yeah. I'm just learning from the other YouTubers, so we're not the first ones to do this.
Is,
Yeah.
people doing this around the world.
In the UK is where most of the people we've seen doing it. Yeah, and in the UK and Australia. It's worthwhile though, because it gets people thinking, and it's a conversation worth having. I think it's the worst travesty being committed by humans today.
Have you had any aggressive people talking to you and disagreeing with you guys?
It's mostly, I'm gonna go eat a chicken sandwich right now, just people mocking.
Oh, I see.
But I think that's because we're triggering a cognitive dissonance in them that's sitting a little to them.
Who's the Alberta singer that came out against beef and Albertans rose up against her? She's a gay woman.
Jan Arden.
Jen Arden?
No, before her.
Before Jan Arden?
Yeah.
Oh, Katie Lang.
Katie Lang.
Oh.
Katie Lang, right?
I didn't know she spoke up about that.
Katie Lang, she's a Albertan girl, right? Like,
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
She went in public and saying anti-beef, and she said it's criminal. And she was like a hero of Alberta. People loved her.
Yeah.
They all turned against her.
Yeah.
They attacked her like crazy.
Yeah.
She had to back off and back down, and she had death threats and heavy stuff. It was like, how long was that? 20 years ago? 25 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe more. How old is she?
I don't think she's. I
She's
think
not that
she's
old?
50 maybe.
Okay, so maybe 20 years ago?
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
dangerous. That's my point. It's
Okay.
No, it's just
I'm
dangerous.
not here to win any popularity contests, so
I was just
I'm okay
curious,
with
'cause
that.
Some people, especially probably here, they'd be like, oh, I don't know, having a reaction to you guys. I do
Yeah.
see that happening. for
Yes. Yes. And thank you very much for your time.
sure.
Okay, see you guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
see you guys.
good chatting with
Good
you.
luck.
That was a really nice conversation.